How you going? My name's Terence and welcome back to Rusted Iron Ranch. Today I'm going to introduce another new project to you guys. Not quite another vehicle project, not quite a motorbike, but here we have it, a 1981 ATC 110. So I've had this for about 5 years, I reckon now. I used it extensively at our last property, towing around a little trailer, carrying firewood, tools that we needed to maintain the place, everything. It got used a hell of a lot. As you see, it is pretty much how I bought it. I've changed oils, I've done a bit of maintenance here and there, just tensioning things up, making sure it was running right. I built a little tow bar for it. I broke the exhaust, and that's about it. I think I've slimed a couple of tubes here and there, and they're all still staying up. They do need a little bit of air now. But yeah, as you see, it's pretty much how I got it. When I bought it, it was a little bit low on compression, so I always did know that it might have needed to freshen up at some point. And up until probably about 18 months ago, it was still running pretty well. And actually, it's probably longer than that. It's probably like 2 years this thing hasn't run now. We were doing a big heap of tree felling at our last property, and I was cutting away most of the big stuff with the bobcat and the trailer behind the tractor, and my wife was getting all the heads of the trees and putting them in a little trailer and using this. So it got used for probably 2 weeks, pretty much flat out, and it did a hell of a lot of work in that time. Now, that work that it did is what I kind of attribute to it pushing it over the edge a little bit. It was a little bit smoky. It did kind of clean up a little bit. But in that last little bit of work it did kind of get a little bit more progressively smoky. So I kind of think that the compression has got too low for it to run. Now, I've tried to get it running again a couple of times. I haven't probably attempted for at least 18 months now. And I have taken the head off, had a look at the piston, seen if there's any play, anything like that. Then I thought I'd put it together wrong with the timing, all the rest of it. So I've probably had it apart 2 or 3 times now. But today I do want to take it apart again because I can't remember what piston it had in it. I can't remember if it was original, if it was 0.25, or 0.50 or what it was. So I kind of do want to get an idea of what piston it's got in it, and then what rings or piston and rings and bore, or just an idea of what I'm going to have to do. But before I re-pull it apart, I do just want to see if I can get it running. I'm just going to make sure it's got fuel, make sure it's got spark. I might even try and do a bit of like a wet compression test. Put some ATF down the jug or something like that, and see if I can get that compression up and see if I can get it to run. If not, I'm just going to be tearing it down pretty much to get to the piston and see what piston it's got in it. So I just thought I'd bring you guys along. This is going to be a little bit of a hopefully a short-term project here, because I've got some jobs that I need to use this for. We're doing a lot of spraying at the moment, and this would be very handy with the little trailer and a little spray unit behind doing spot spraying. So I probably don't really want to have to buy a 4-wheeler just yet, since I have this, so I probably should fix this before I spend money on a 4-wheeler. So with that, I'll get set up and I'll start seeing if I can get this running, and then if not, we'll tear down. Okay, so I've got some new fuel in the tank, but firstly I'm just going to make sure we've still got spark. Crazier things have happened, so just be worth just double checking whether or not we're good spark before I try and pull it over too many times. That plug's pretty oily, to be honest. Also looks like it's been hit. These 110s, if you're familiar with the Honda laydown 110s and the 90s, the 110s particularly, you can't, or in between the 90s and the 110s, you got to make sure you've got the right spark plug in, because they will interfere and they'll smash a valve into the spark plug, and that nearly looks like, I don't know if you can see it, that might have happened there. Now I don't remember if that's new or if that's somehow happened more recently. Maybe I've put the wrong spark plug in just to double check. I can actually see I've got two washers on here. This is the problem with not having done this or touched this this bike for so long. I can't kind of remember what I was diagnosing last time, so I know I've done that for some reason. What that reason is, I'm not sure. So it's nearly the same as when you get something that you have no idea what the previous owner was doing, because now I've got to work out why the hell I did things. Okay, ignition's on. Yep, got spark. It's not the greatest spark, but it's spark, so. Not a lot of compression there. Is there, mate? I've turned the fuel on. Have I turned the fuel on? Yes. Turn the fuel on. Trike's on. I'll give it a couple of pulls and see what happens. Now I can't be 100% sure we're getting fuel, so. Now I do remember I did buy an airbox for this. It didn't really have an airbox when I bought it, so this is a second-hand unit. I did feel like I did something else. I reckon I might have done valve stem seals on this engine, because it was smoky ever since I owned it. So I kind of thought it might have just been valve stem seals. So I believe I did do them as well. How long it ran after I did them, I can't remember. So that's what makes me think that it is just a compression issue now. I might just quickly whip off this this intake, and we might see if we can get it to run on something else other than fuel. Got the supervisor here, making sure I don't do anything wrong. Okay, so the only thing I've got on hand is just some silicone spray. I have run something off this previously, so I hope it does work. I didn't have any brake clean or anything like that, so it's not really spraying real well. Let's see if that gives it a fire. The fact that we're getting compression back out through there. The valves might not be sealing properly, or we've got a timing issue, which I did think we had in the past. Like I said, I'll put this together about 3 times, and I've got experience with other Honda laydown motors too, at 110s and 90s. And I put this together, I don't know how many times, and double checked the timing, and it still doesn't seem to be right. It even could have a bent valve, which I have had that issue with one of these before, from that interruption issue with the spark plug. So I don't know if that spark plug was out of this or why I've done that. So hopefully we haven't got a bent valve, but I don't think that's very hopeful. Okay, before we do properly tear into it, I think we have other issues with valves or timing or something like that. But before I take it apart, I'll just do one more check. I'll just put some ATF down the cylinder, maybe try and up the compression a little bit, and see if that helps at all. I've got some ATF, one of these the Lucas bottles. These are really good bottles. Like, you never use that little tip when you're putting it in your engine. I just always take it off, but they're really handy bottles to keep and use for this type of thing. So a couple little squirts in there. Do a little try. Whoa. Might have put too much in there, actually. Yeah. Compression's a lot higher. Yeah, so that's the compression that I would think that it should have. And I actually think we're probably pretty low. I still don't think it's going to run on that. I did my silicone spray. I'll put a bit of spray inside, but I think we've got low compression, possibly a bent valve, possibly a timing issue. It's a bit of a shame. Yeah, I'll just spray some of it, give it a kick over and see if that gives me anything. Wow, I did not expect that to happen. So maybe we don't have an ignition issue. A timing issue. Maybe we don't have a bent valve. We still could have a slightly bent valve, because that is weird that it's leaking compression out through the carby, but it runs. So I actually think that ATF did the trick, and we've just got a really low compression situation. I'm just going to see if I can get that to start again and idle. Be very interesting to see how long that ATF will up the compression for. I might even see if I can take it for a little ride, or yeah, we'll see. I'll see if I can get to idle first and see if I can get it to start again. Do another little spray, see if I can get this to go. Check out how smoky this is. Well, it seems to be running alright. Idle's slightly literally cannot believe it. It goes probably just as well as it ever did. A hell of a lot more smoky, like really, really smoky. Let's see if it starts again. That is unreal. Have a look at the smoke. It's actually coming out through the, because the exhaust is broken, it's actually coming out through the little tow bar. I actually can't believe it. I thought I'll just double check whether or not it'll start. I know it won't, and then I'll pull it down for the video. Yeah, I don't know. It runs. I probably still should pull it down to see what piston's in it, and maybe get a set of rings for it at the very least. But the fact that it runs right now, I literally can't bring myself to pull it apart right now. Maybe I'll go have a little bit more fun with it, and if it stops on me in the paddock and I have to push it back, well then I'll pull it apart. Alright, let's take it for another ride. That's unreal. Like I said, goes nearly probably as good as it's ever gone for me. Like I said, it's low compression ever since I've owned it. Yeah, I did not expect this. I thought I was going to be doing a bit of a rebuild. Okay, so it runs. So this wasn't really supposed to be a will it start video. I just thought I'd check that just before I tore into it. But now I can't really bring myself to pulling it apart just yet. So I'm sure I will in the coming weeks. Although, because I haven't ridden this for so long, I just want to have a little bit of fun with this now. So with that, I'll leave it there. So wasn't a will it start video, now is, because it started. So there you have it. Okay. So if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more of the ATC 110, which I'm absolutely sure I'll be doing more work on, be sure to subscribe. Along with that, there's a heap of other projects that I'm doing. Have a look through my videos. There's probably something in there that you'll like to see. So yeah, if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe. But once again, my name's Terrence. This has been Rust Iron Ranch, and thanks for watching.